Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Extra Time presented by In 90 Minutes Podcast. Tonight I'm joined by Adam and David Valentin. How are we doing tonight, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Doing great.
Busy show tonight. Several different items to go over. First is Luke isn't feeling well this week, so hopefully he gets to be feeling better. Which is why he wasn't on because he had fully planned on being on. So, well wishes to him. But jumping right into it, we had the controversy that we posted on Sunday about the supporter section. Um, Basically, there was a family that was attending their first match on the wall. They attend one of the satellite schools for Orlando City, and got some discounted tickets. I don't know if they were free or discounted. Doesn't matter. It was their first match. They said they had never been to an Orlando City match before, but had been to a Miami match. Supposedly had no problems in Miami, whatever that's worth. But at the Orlando match, they wanted to be as close to the field as they could, as close to the pitch as they could in the supporters section, as close to the net as they could. And as anybody who's been in the supporters section or goes in the supporters section knows, that the first seven rows and the middle, three, four sections are are reserved for supporter groups. Um, you know, Basically, the long story short is, depending on who you ask, because it's a he said, she said thing at this point. Um, Apparently, the family was asked to move several times from where they were standing. Um, Things got heated. Things were said, and eventually because of the disruptance that was happening, whichever way you want to put it, the family was asked to leave the stadium, or was basically told to leave the stadium. Um, so I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on it. I have my own thoughts on it. But David, I know you have a lot to say on it, so let's jump right into it.
Well, if I may, and first of all, I'm happy to be sharing the space with Adam finally. After
Oh, stop it!
thank you, sir.
You are the legend. I am just a wee follower.
Come on, I don't. Please, I'm just a regular guy. Anyhow, to get to it, if you have follow our content or my presence on social media, I had my disagreements with the supporter groups before. I famously got kicked out of the ILF after 6 weeks. No need to revisit that.
Since
But
I said famous, by the way, just saying.
yeah, famous for sure. So the story is as follows. Obviously, there's two sides to the story. A member of the Rockets, a friend of ours, told us what happened. And we have a lot of respect and for this person, and we care a lot about him. So we know that his account of the situation that happened basically is accurate. The lady in question posted online that her kid goes to one of the satellite academies associated with Orlando City. Uh, the family got free tickets. They had never been to an Orlando City game. Her words, not mine. Their tickets were in the supporters section and on the wall. They went to their space, and the assigned seats, making air quotes, were right on the area that the supporter groups claim, which is the first 10 rows. This is an unwritten rule. Okay, this is something a rule that the supporter groups have imposed upon the area, and that the club basically grants that rule to exist. She claims that they read the "Know Before You Go" about the section. You can wear outside collars, etc., etc. And they went there. To make a long story short, because obviously we posted what our friend said on her post. We share it on our media, primarily Instagram, not as an endorsement, but because as a podcast, we talk about the things that happen with the club, in and out of the club, and that's what we're here for. We're a platform to talk about things related to Orlando City. So, and I took it upon myself to make a statement after that, explaining what I'm telling you guys. So finally, the situation escalated because people um, associated to the supporter group, primarily the Rockets, which is the situation here. Um, the family claims that they were not very nice and that they felt disrespected and sort of like pushed into a corner. By the time the ushers are involved, things had escalated, and the tension was really tough. Between the two groups, the family and the supporter groups, and they asked the father to leave. Okay, I know that he says some things in anger, and I understand that, and I have said it many times on the show that when you're dealing with Hispanic people, especially men, and you do something where they feel that you're disrespecting their spouse, or any female related to them, or the kids, or anything like that, they're not gonna look like a punk. They don't want to look like a punk, okay? And that this is something that I have learned to control myself, because I know that many of you out there that hate watch this show do so hoping to get another aha moment, trying to say something bad about me, but I'm too smart. I'm not gonna give it to you. And the point is that they got felt disrespected, and they went online and made the club look, and the wall on the wall look in a very bad light. And my point with the whole thing, the only thing I have to say is the stadium belongs to all of us, okay? And I understand the supporter groups, they have their culture, they have their thing, their clicks, and all that. It's not my scene. I have said it many times. It's not my scene. Obviously, I tried. I guess I'm not good enough for them, and I'm not, I'm too old, perhaps, or whatever it is. I'm not the right persuasion. I had my dealings with members of both supporter groups, where my religion, my ethnicity, my family, everything has been attacked over opinions about a football club. And in the end, is if people are not familiar with the culture and they are not familiar with the area, how about we are not acting like dickheads? Excuse me.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, oh, hold on, hold on. There you go.
There you go. We are not acting like that towards a family where the kid is like 10 or 11, and we try to meet people halfway. So if you decide, and my apologies, Ivy today is just jumping all over the place. If you decide that if you approach the situation full force, 0 to 1,000, you're gonna get the same energy back. You're gonna get that same energy back, and that's what happened here. It seems that that's what happened here. Now, I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I'm only seeing what she posted, the videos, which obviously show her husband very irate. Shows their kid very upset, which as a parent, as a father, made me really upset, because the kid looked very distressed. The family went there to watch a football game, and what they got was escorted out, most likely, probably, trespassed, okay, for God knows how long. And that, once again, paying customers shouldn't be treated like that. And we should act, if you have been a member of a church or synagogue or mosque in this town, you know that when visitors come in, you're supposed to treat them with respect. They have taken time to come and visit your house of worship. I see the stadium in the same grounds. It's our temple, right? You know, my friends in England call it going to church when they're going to the stadium. So we should be friendly. And now, if they were aggressive from the very first go, then I can understand you matching that energy. Again, I wasn't there, but if what she says is true, that the aggressiveness was from the supporter group towards them from the very beginning, then they're in the wrong. And judging by the numbers that we saw in the walk to the match, their numbers are dwindling. Their numbers are dwindling. I seriously doubt that 500 season ticket holders are members of the particular supporter groups. And instead of building,
I can guarantee you that's a fact.
oh, for sure. And I finish with this. Instead of building bridges between the fan base and our visitors and everything, we continue to have the gatekeeping, the fist pumping, and the situations that basically all they do is create a situation where people don't want to come to live games
Yep.
of football in Orlando, and that's deplorable. To the club, maybe it's time to get rid of a rule that was set up by people that are no longer part of the club. It's time to open supporter group membership or affiliation with the club to just anyone, because this idea of the Rockets and ILF having to approve of an extra outsider supporter group has failed miserably. And all it has done is create an environment where you can hear the wall. There's no, it's the sound of the wall has been muted. People have left on their own accord because they don't feel included. They don't feel part of the culture anymore, and that's how it is. Okay, so again, support groups can do whatever they want. I'm not gonna make any attempts to join them. I'm not gonna make any attempts to meet them halfway. Everybody's all is free to join them. It's not it's not necessary to be a support group member to in order to follow Orlando City. But it seems like when these situations always happen, it's always the usual suspects. It's usual the usual situations where people, once again, that are new to the sport, that are new to the club, that don't understand the dynamics that you have cultivated since 2011, usually are the victims of whatever decisions you make. And then security, which has been a sore point for many, once again decides to enforce rules that are of the group, not of the club, not of the venue, not of the league. So with that, I leave it at that.
So, David, I got a question for you. First of all, your
Right.
parenting dad catching skills are epic.
Thank you, brother.
Your multitasking epic, like beyond belief. I'm just gonna let you know, forever, years, I've been trying to get to that same level, and it's not possible. It's not
Three
possible.
kids.
Even with the flashlight in the
Long time,
face,
brother.
you still maintain the beat. You don't even skip a beat on what you're trying to say. So, I just heard about this, and to be honest, I mean, I'm a season pass holder, but I'm on the other side of the stadium, and
Same.
I sit over there because I can hear the wall, I can hear it, and I can see it. And you know what? It used to be, like 4 years ago, the wall was full. I mean, top to bottom, you couldn't even get in there if you wanted. I have friends that are in there somewhere. And if you go back and look at the game we just had against Cincinnati, big game, very important, huge implications if we won. Huge. I mean, jumping to like third or fourth in the Eastern, like huge, the way things would have fallen if we would have won. And how many people were actually in the wall? It was not full. It wasn't even halfway full. And so why wouldn't they, and me not knowing, I'm not a member, never been a member of any of those groups. why wouldn't anybody be open to inviting? Just be nice. How hard is it? How hard is it to honestly just be nice? Where I sit, we get people from other teams that come and sit around us where I'm at. And you know what? It's fun to have the banter. It's fun. It creates a great atmosphere. Why are you ruining the atmosphere because of your ego and your lack of wanting to be open to something different? That's what it comes down to. It comes down to the fact that they are not willing and able to swallow their pride and say, you know what? Who cares if you're not a member? Have a great time. Enjoy our club. Enjoy our atmosphere. If you have any problems or issues, let us know. We're more than happy to do whatever needs to be done. So you and your family have a fun time. But instead, what happens is the same crap that happened to me, even though it wasn't at a
I remember.
at a game, you get assholes coming back at you. And why do we have to resort to that level? Makes everybody who is an Orlando City supporter, no matter what, if you wear it on your hat, wear it on your heart, makes us all look like assholes. That's all I got to say about that.
And Adam, it's important that you mentioned. I'm glad you're bringing that up. Um, we are always ambassadors of the club. I remember years ago, my kids were in elementary school, and again, most of our audience has been with us for a long time, so they know my oldest son now is at UCF. My youngest one is a junior in high school. My kids were in elementary school, and my wife and I went to the JCC in Maitland. I can't remember what it was. I think we went there for some holiday. I don't even remember what it was. And my wife wanted to get information for the summer camp. Yeah, that's what it was. And they had a table of like different people trying to get kids to sign up to things. There was a guy that was running like a football academy, and obviously, everybody that knows me, I had a Maccabi Haifa jersey, and he goes, "Do you follow them?" And I was like, "Yeah." I also follow Orlando City, and he's like, "Oh, my Ruckus member." Oh, so obviously I gravitated towards that, and we talked, and the guy was super nice. Uh, that guy is no longer there because the supporter group has allowed members to inject political agendas where this fellow was no longer felt welcome because of his ethnicity. So, gonna leave it at that, which is bold.
That's ridiculous. Like
Yeah, I
you're
know. Which is
you're all supposed to. I like the idea, and I would even be on board of an idea of having one supporter group, everybody together. And you know what? Even though I don't sit over there,
mhm,
I would still throw $25, $50, whatever it may
right.
be,
But
because and to wear it on. I don't wear it. I don't get ruckus gear, but I would wear it on my side.
yeah, yeah, and that's how I ended
You
up
know what I
joining
mean?
the.
Like,
Yeah,
look at all the Orlando shit I have in this room. You don't even want to know. I got
no, I hear
more
you, brother.
crap than you can think of. But at the
I,
end of the day, I can't get a ruckus because I can't pay the $25.
right. I joined the ILF, and I was still sitting on the south side. So I understand what you're saying. The situation with that is that we gotta go way back to 2011. Originally, we had three supporter groups. We had the Ruckus. Actually, originally it was just the Ruckus. Then, for whatever reason, unbeknownst to me, the Iron Lion separates from the Ruckus to form their own thing. And there was a third group, the 407 firm. The 407 firm and the Iron Lion merge to make what is today the ILF.
Right.
They Rockets used to sit in section 120 and ILF in section 121. Hence why the ILF posts the 121 number and all that, right? In their iconography. So the situation is that we never had unity to begin with. Yes, one supporter group that will be great. My English team, Stevenage, happens to have one supporter group, but it's a small club. Our stadium sits about 8,500 people.
So I,
Now,
I have a question.
yeah, man.
And I know you are the all knowing of all knowing.
Yeah,
How many other MLS teams have multiple competing
all of them.
supporter groups?
All of them.
All of them.
Every club, Adam, across the world, the way it works in a lot of other clubs in the MLS and across the world is they're under one banner, kind of your idea, but there's a bunch of different groups.
That's fine. That's still under one umbrella.
Right. So, but if like the example I was gonna give you, Maccabi Haifa, my Israeli team, has about 7 groups: Green Apes, Infierno Verde, La Familia, the Haifa Ultras, and and the list goes on. The numbers vary from about 100 people to 5,000. So, but on game day, they come together on their version of what we would call the wall. You know,
But they're
uh,
all together.
they're all together. They have their different agendas. Some of them are for nerd dads like me. And
Yeah,
then some
yeah, yeah.
are some of the hardcore. We're gonna cover
But
our
I don't
faces, fight the police.
understand why, and I'm sure those guys, no matter where they're from in the world, whether
Hmm.
it's Israel or Fiji, I'm
Yeah.
sure they are all opening and welcoming.
I never felt, even following those clubs from a distance, I have never felt excluded. The team that happens to be 50 minutes away from my house is the one that where I
You see my point? You see where I'm going with
yeah,
this?
no, for sure. I
I
can
mean,
tell you
so
this,
let me
man.
let me say this,
Yeah, go ahead.
Adam. It's like no offense, David, but like I love ultra culture across the world. Um, to say they're welcoming depends. Because see, David, you had the footprint on social media. They saw you were cool. You didn't want anything from them. You weren't trying to impose on their traditions. You were accepting of everything they did. They're like, okay, this guy's cool. Let's embrace him with open arms. You didn't go in trying to have your own self-fulfilling prophecy where you wanted to make it about you. You wanted things to be about you. To me, with this fan, to circle it back to where we started at, and then I'm going to patch Ahmed in because Ahmed wants to join us too to talk about some things. Um,
Let them know I didn't do it.
to patch it back to my opinion on what this family did is there's set rules in the stadium. Period. Whether we agree with them, whether we don't agree with them, it's no different than driving down the road and the speed limit being 25. We're like, why is it 25? There's two houses within a quarter mile of each other. It shouldn't be 25 miles an hour. It's still 25 miles an hour. You're doing 30. There's a good chance you're going to get a ticket. This family went in, wanted to be close to the net. We're told from the start by members of the ruckus, hey, our members are given priority for the first little bit. If nobody comes in and sits in, if you find an open spot, help yourself and come sit down. But let people get settled in and see where it's at, and then you can kind of come down. I've seen it happen when I was a member of ruckus. Saw it happen plenty of times. Well, they didn't like that. The family didn't like that. And that's when things were first said by the father. So then they moved, and then halftime happened. And you can always pick out new people in the wall, whether they're trying to go where the Ruckus and ILF are or anywhere else in the wall. You always see where people go and get their drink, and then somebody comes down and tries to swoop in that spot. That's what this family did. They were told, the people came back and they're like, you're in our spot. It was inside the first 7 rows. Apparently the people whose spot they took were Ruckus members. Obviously, either way, that's like a no-no. Like security will tell you have to get out of that spot. So that happened. Let me pull up my notes here to make sure I don't say anything because I want to make sure I'm accurate with it. Yeah, and then they tried a third time to go really close to the pitch. This is according to A friend of the show that kind of summarized things that he asked that different people about. Um, they tried to go down a third time and push some people out of their spot. And that's when it got extremely verbal. Things were said. Apparently sexist and homophobic things were said by the father. And that's when security had enough and kicked out the father. And since they were all together, they all just left at that point. So, I'm gonna say this, and then I promise I'm gonna patch you in. Um, I'm all for the first 7 rows, especially since they changed it a couple years ago to where it's just the middle sections right there, by the two middle capo stands. It's just those 2 or 3 sections of the wall now are the first 7 rows. It's not the entire width of the wall. And if it is a match where it's not that crowded like Saturday, and you can find a spot after, usually they ask you to wait until like the either the 20th minute or something like that, and you're able to go in there, you'll be fine. But when you go and you try to, like I said, make it about you and push it, you're going to get pushed back when it's, a couple hundred up to a couple thousand people that are all on the same boat. You're going to, the minority is going to lose out there, period. And it's one of the, and I'll speak for Luke too, because him and I talked about it on Sunday. It's one of the few rules that I support in the wall that favors the Ruckus and ILF. Because knowing what would happen if it didn't, you would have a bunch of new people, casuals, right behind that net, and we don't want that. We want to have that presence there right behind the net for when the opposition goalie's in there, for when we're attacking the wall, and then we want our guys, the support to be there right behind the net for our guys when we're defending in front of the wall.
Now I have a good question here before Ahmed joins in. I got a quick question, and nobody mentioned this yet. Why were this family given tickets to the wall?
That they chose, apparently, from what I could tell, they were given a discount link, and they chose them because they were the cheapest tickets, is what I made out from it. So,
And
there's
nobody
nothing wrong.
told them. Nobody gave them any.
It's supposed to be when you purchase the tickets, whether it's through a discount link or otherwise. It pops up when you purchase it, and it gives you a rundown of the list of the rules, and you have to click
Right.
OK or
That's what the
agree
she
or
was
something.
referring to. That read the before you go. There's that
So the know
item.
before, so that's a separate
Yeah.
email, and I'm
Oh,
getting
that's
there.
a separate
I
email.
I
Okay.
Yeah, that's a separate email.
I don't understand why a first time person would even be allowed to buy a ticket in the wall unless
I agree with that.
I,
I
I,
could
I
trust me, Adam.
I'm,
That is something that I agree with.
it's not.
As
And
uh,
remember, I said be nice. Remember, I said you
yeah,
got to be nice, you got to be welcoming about it. But I get what you're saying too. Like it's a double edged sword.
yeah, no, 100%. And it's one of those that you know we I want to be welcoming, but at the same time, like it,
I didn't do that.
I'm not trying to get our attention. Let's bring Ahmed in. I guess he has a lot to say on the issue too. Go ahead, Ahmed. You there? If you are, you're muted.
Yeah, Ahmed is muted though. I can see.
Yep.
That
There
was
you
me,
go.
by the way.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, hey guys, thanks for having me on. Wow,
You're
I
welcome.
feel honored.
You're not. I
So,
can't see you, but I'm glad to hear you.
yeah, look, if I turn can you hear me? Because my car right now, so you can barely see me. So I'll keep my camera off.
We won't let anybody know you're driving an I-4.
Yeah. Take your camera off, Ahmed, because it consumes bandwidth, and
Yeah,
your
and it's
audio
killing
gets.
your audio.
And there's that. I think we lost him.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately,
Yep.
the video's eating his bandwidth.
There we go. Offline. He'll come back.
So
He'll come back.
yeah, back to what we were saying, Adam. Is I know where you're coming from, and like
I'm playing
deep
devil's advocate.
down,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
yeah, no. What I like you're right. It is the double edged sword where I want the wall to be a force to be reckoned with, and it will only be that force when it's the same people in the wall. You look at Maccabi Haifa; they have,
Got
a
thousands of people,
borderline,
bro.
yeah, but a borderline legendary, supporters, ultras, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
A kind of ultras, the section behind the goal that is so imposing. The yellow wall at Dortmund, for instance.
Let me
Um,
put
Which is
an example
25,000
too.
people, by the way. That
yeah.
one.
When we had the World Cup, we had Norway playing. I don't remember who they played. I think it was England. I think it was England. And you look at where Norway had their people. They had basically the wall of red behind both goalies on both sides. And they created a even though I think that was the game they lost, it's such a good when you have a fun group that's willing to. I mean, the whole World Cup in general was just all about being open and willing to accept everybody and not be assholes. And why do we have to be that ugly duckling?
Mm-hmm. So we can go down that. We'll hit that
That's all
once
I
the
got.
meds. Yeah, once the med's able to give
Yeah,
his
he's
two
getting back
cents
in.
since the med's back on. Ahmed, you there? Can you hear us?
Do I have to do crickets?
Schleger's in the back. The shot, Schleger saved it!
I don't know what that was, but it wasn't crickets.
Can you hear me? Hello, hello,
Yes, we can hear you
Yeah, we
now.
can
hello,
hear you.
hello.
First
Can you
time,
hear
long
me?
time,
All
big
right,
fan.
perfect, awesome.
First time caller.
Where'd we leave off?
We're still talking about the supporter section and everything.
All right. So, I mean, ultimately, I'll keep it short because I know you guys have been talking about it for a while. But I think the biggest issue I have with what happened right now isn't how it unfolded because there's always two sides to every story, right? I think the biggest issue is how it was handled at the end of the day. That's what matters because at the end of the day, people saw a video out there. The people that saw that video, because what happens is nothing travels faster than good news. Nothing gets more publicity than good news. And these I have do after a game after going to a game like that on Sunday night, on Monday morning when they have practice, they're all talking about that, right? So for me, the thing about that is that's the thing that the club has to figure out how to deal with because it's not the first time it's happened. I'm sure I've seen people kicked out of the wall multiple times, and it's not the last time it's going to happen. But we have to think to ourselves, like, and I think you guys touched on this. If you have a family there, they've been there this whole time. Maybe we can figure out how to handle these situations. It doesn't end up like that.
I
That ultimately
totally
for me
agree
is
with
the
you.
biggest issue. It's not. I go ahead.
No, I
You
agree with
know,
you. That's
so
what I'm
I
saying.
think I
How
think
do these
that in
people
itself
get
is the issue.
and how do they get tickets in the first place? That the first time buyers, why are they getting tickets here if they're not really
Yeah.
educated? That
Well,
I gotta
that's
tell you one thing.
the
and I put that on the club. That's all I got to say.
thing. So she bought tickets. From what it sounded to me like, because I think her son plays for Orlando City Lake Nona, which is one of the
Correct.
Orlando City affiliates. And sometimes they do discounted tickets for their groups. So when you do that, you're buying through a different link. You're not buying through Ticketmaster. You're buying through a FIVO link, which is similar to the ones we get our OCB tickets through. And a lot of times when you buy those, you just have a drop down with the ticket with the section numbers. And I almost want to say I don't recall it saying anything about the sections or the restrictions on those sections. I don't quote me on that, but I want to almost say that that might be a thing. So I'm
So
not saying that that excuses anything, but because I know we were talking about like when you buy it and the before you go stuff. I don't know that that's a thing on that they probably got their tickets to. Just putting it out there.
So from
Not that they would have
experience
read it anyway, because a lot of
on
times people don't
FIVO,
read that.
at least the last time I got an Orlando City ticket for the wall on that from that site, because they use it. It used to be used for the season ticket holder exchange thing. You
Hmm.
know, the free tickets you got.
That's how I know it.
Yeah, it says that on there when you select tickets for the wall. It says it on there, and for them saying that it said that they had a specific seat, it wouldn't. It's literally like I'm looking at my all my tickets right now. None of them, even ones that I bought, from Ticketmaster that weren't included in my package, um, say supporter section GA1, which is just the code they use, and then it literally says on their supporter gate, Orlando City supporters only, supporters gate. So there's
So
no like specific. They used to do that, and it created a lot of confusion where you had a specific seat in the wall. But they stopped doing that 3 or 4 years right after COVID. They stopped doing that. So the one shortfall on the club that I will say that was it looks like we lost Ahmed again. But one thing that the club did stop doing, and I looked in the email because you do get an email from the club that says no before you go, which I believe is what she was referring to. It does not say anymore, even though it shows it on Ticketmaster. It's in the stadium's policy and everything that it does not say in that know before you go email that those first 7 rows in those specific sections are reserved for affiliated supporters group members. So, and like I said, Amit, you may have missed it, is according to what I was told, unofficially by the Ruckus, just people's accounts of it. It's not an official statement from them, just people's accounts of what happened. Is they were told very early, hey, this is reserved for the season ticket or for the supporter groups at first, and if there's spots for you, feel free to come down. And they disregarded that, caused issue with that. Try to come down 2 or 3 more times after that and steal people's spots when they went to the bathroom or go get a drink. And the final time was when the big altercation happened, and security finally,
I think
you know,
somebody should have stopped them at the door when they came in that section, and they should have said, "Okay,
mhm,
you probably shouldn't sit here. We want to welcome you and give you a better
right.
opportunity."
If I may say something,
I'm
one
just
of the things.
that's my last word.
No, for sure. It
I'm done.
because I know that people are gonna grab this. They're gonna run to the supporter groups and to their leadership and like, look, these guys are talking trash, blah
Oh
blah
my
blah. They
god.
always do. But this is the thing that I have said many times, based on the teams that I follow overseas. We should have a supporter liaison officer, an SLO, okay, which is somebody where the supporters can go and rant and rave about problems. When I say supporters, I'm talking about anybody that paid for a ticket and went to a game. Somebody that works for the club. When you leave, enforcement of these unwritten rules to
David, they're not unwritten. It's on the club. It's on the club's site. It's
okay,
on the stadium policy.
I
It's
stand
no
corrected.
different
Thank
than
you
when the
then.
U.S. men's national team comes here. They even have more for the U.S. men's national team for the Outlaws in the supporters section. They
All
have
right.
more reserved that regular people can't come and use,
Mhm.
and the Outlaws are even worse than the Ruckus and ILF. It's you can't be there. They don't care if that spot's taken or not. At least from my experience.
All right. Fair
So
enough.
it's part of the policy of the stadium and
Fair
of the
enough.
club.
So the problem that I see primarily is you have people that work security that are usually not the same people, and some many times people that it's their first experience with football culture, first time in the stadium, first time dealing with supporter groups, etc., etc. So the main problem with this is we should have people that work for the club there to act as the definitive force to enforce rules and to take care of situations like this. where you have two groups that are irate to once another, and then security is brought in at a point when they're like, these people gotta go, these people, and I
Should
guarantee
never
you,
have gone to that point. It never should
yeah,
have
it
gotten.
should have never been. But I saw the video. The guy is pissed off, man, and you know he's. I'm not gonna condone whatever he said. You know, I'm told, oh, homophobic things, racial things, misogynist things. I'm sorry. That's the language of a generation that I'm not part of. I'm a Gen Xer. I grew up in Puerto Rico, and you know what? That language that offends people here, it's what we used to say to each other when I was 8 years old. You know what I mean? So you know, I'm seeing it from the glass of the perspective of somebody that is Latin American. I understand where the guy's coming from.
And
Not saying that he was
I
right.
do have to correct something, David, real
Yep,
quick, because
go
I
ahead, brother.
just pulled up, and I'm going to share my screen with the know before you go
Please
real
do.
quick to show. Excuse my excessive amount of emails. This is my personal email. I don't delete things on it. Um, but this is the know before you go email here, right here. I'm just going to go through it really quick. You know, it basically says everyone in the wall is required to wear Orlando City or neutral colors in the supporters section. You know, says that there's going to be smoke. You may get wet from water thrown, yada, yada, yada. And then you scroll down, it's in Spanish. And it has a section for learn the chants, meet the supporters groups. And then it goes through a little bit of history of the wall. And then right here in the second paragraph on that, it does say, please note, the wall is a general admission standing room only section with first come, first serve standing locations. Rows A through G in sections 24 through 26, so 24, 25, and 26. Capo stands and drum platform are reserved for members of a recognized supporter groups, Ruckus and Iron Lion Firm only. So it does say that in there. So the fact that she said it's not in there, and then it said again in Spanish. And then it shows the gates, shows the different
Then we
packs and
throw light
everything.
at the situation, and supporter groups can say, "Hey, we have been redeemed." So, and my argument, John, has always been that a lot of people are quick to point out that the podcaster is the enemy, and I have said, listen, you don't have to like me, you don't have to be what I'm all about. But we support the same club, and we want the club to do well, and the club represents our community and our feelings. And I have said it before. Listen, my group of friends that follow Orlando City will disagree with me on politics, will disagree with me on religion, will disagree with me on the color of the sky, but our friendship is based around supporting the club, and you know, rather than concentrate on the things that are different, we concentrate on the things that are good. I feel, I feel that the time has come to allow for the club to allow supporter groups to organically come together and form, and not this rigid rule that the ILF and the Rockets have to allow those groups to exist. Because what happens is when there has been attempts to create a third group, they get squashed, they get destroyed. Those members get vilified, get humiliated on social media, get attacked, right? And I remember when I would complain about things that like, you gotta join a supporter group. I did. I did. After years of bad blood. And you know, it's dishonest to let me in if the goal was the second he screws up, he's out. And, you know, and I get kicked out on rules that were never presented to me, and on a situation well documented. Not gonna hammer that again, but on a situation where I feel a lot of people, we still got the video. It's not what they said that it was, but again, they took my money happily, and that's it. You know, after, you know, get out. And I understand one thing that
Well,
I didn't. That I
David,
understand.
I'm going to support the supporter groups on this one.
Okay,
According to them, it wasn't just one thing. They weren't kicked out because they tried to go in that section in those rows. They were kicked out because they repeatedly tried to steal people's
no,
seat.
right.
And then
I'm
when they
not.
were moved out,
Mhm.
the husband decided to act like an uncivilized human being
That's
and
true.
say
You can see
disparaging
it
remarks
on their video.
to
You can see
women.
that. You
Yeah,
can see
you
that
can
on their
see
video,
that
John.
that he was beside himself, and I don't care who you are. There's no room in our stadium for somebody that's going to do that. Period.
and
because
that
you don't know how they're gonna react, and
yeah,
I
that's
understand
why this should have
safety
been
has to be
stopped.
protected.
Should have been stopped before it started.
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
agree with that,
it
Adam.
kind of, from what they
I
said,
I
it was.
think if
They were
if
told to.
they came in the supporter section in that gate, and they're like, "Oh, we're not a member of a thing," that right there should put up a red flag. And there should be a red flag that like something in the tickets that says you're a supporter of this or that or whatever, whatever it is. There should be something that they could say, and I want to be welcoming and encourage people to come watch my games. I have friends of mine that live overseas that watch Orlando City with me. I have friends that I do group chats with that we sit and watch games together. And I'm texting John the entire time every game is going on because I got nothing better to do but then talk to my friends and talk to this, and I'm trying to bring people into the club. Why would I want to ruin that by making
It's
us?
almost like, Adam, to go with your point, there almost should be at every gate, not just the supporter section.
Yeah,
At every gate, there should
and
be
yeah,
Brother
somebody
on the
sitting
couch.
there with a placard or a sign, something. Multiple people that work for the club that say, like, if it's your first time at the match, come see me or something like that.
come,
And it's
yeah.
somebody that, like,
Welcome, Mr. Smith.
well, not you,
I'm your
well,
limo driver.
essentially, yeah. But if you're, because there are a lot of people, especially now with Griezmann being here, that are going to be attending a match for the first time. Whether they're sitting in David's section and Adam's section and the West Club and the supporter section, it doesn't matter. They're going to have a lot of questions of, where do I sit? Where am I not allowed to sit? Where's the restrooms at? Stuff like that. And if the club maybe had somebody right inside the gate, maybe it's a podium you sit inside each gate that's not blocking the aisleway that says, David, you're muted, by the way.
Sorry, no, we used to have club ambassadors that will wear yellow shirts. Why they will wear yellow? Because if they wear purple, they will be mixed with everybody else. So they will say club ambassador, and you went to that person. I'm lost. I don't know what to do. How do you watch this stuff? They were there for the newbies, right? And I really love that. We should go back as a club to do the things that we did very, very, very good,
I
and do
agree.
them over and over again.
I'm just
But
saying. I just think that the club not defending anything this couple did, but my point is it should have been somebody dropped the ball somewhere before it got to that point.
absolutely, I agree with
That's
that.
all I gotta say.
And I will say that I watched this game with our friends too from Bradford, England. A guy that has seen a ton of football, follows one of the most history clubs in England, and he loves it. He's like, "You guys got a good thing going on. I love coming here." He even had to defend the fact that he was there. His friends were like, "Oh, you're just wasting your time. Those people don't have any culture. Those people don't know what is happening." And he's like, "No, this is football, man. These people really is a different kind of passion. It's a different culture. It's a club that is a few years old versus our club that is hitting almost 100. These are the things that I feel, and obviously we are about to finish this topic, but I just want to
For the fifth
leave
time.
it clear for the supporter group members. I personally don't have anything against them. I have said many times it's not my scene. I tried, blah blah blah, whatever. And like I said, maybe I'm too old for it. I always feel that the supporter group culture for the most part is people age out of it. Some people do. We all remember the unicorn, the guy that used to wear the unicorn, and there's a lot of characters from the world that are no longer there because they have moved away, or they had kids, or they just lost interest, whatever. There's a lot of people from the original drum corps that are no longer there. Dennis Chen on Thursday mentioned a group that is completely absent. That's the Caribbean Rhythm, the people that used to play the steel drums at games in the USL era. Those guys are unfortunately gone. People, football is not life for us. Some people, they move on. People pass. Unfortunately, we have some members of the supporter groups that unfortunately are no longer with us. So at the end of the day, we have to have a welcoming attitude. I think the club needs to do better, like Adam has mentioned, at dealing with situations like this. Because at the end of the day, football is entertainment, and I want people to go have a good time.
Yeah.
Like I have said before, I know supporter groups, they all have, especially the leadership, especially the ILF, they have their opinion on me, okay, and I finally have come to a realization that I will not, we're not gonna meet each other, we're not gonna like each other, we're not gonna be sending each other birthday gifts. So you stay on your line, and you stay on your side, I stay on my side, and that's that, and we just wanted to dissect the situation from both sides. We're not blaming the Rockets for what happened, because obviously there's a level of element on the side of the family. But at the same time, I think that we should try to avoid situations like this, because everybody has a broadcasting studio in their pocket where they can send images worldwide and dictate a dynamic history that may not be necessarily true. Because at the end of the day, that video, all it did is put our club in a bad light and hurt us. And they finished the video with the jab of saying, "Well, we gone to Inter Miami and they treated us nicely." I would love to see that video, because I know for a fact that their supporter group section, aside from the fact that non-Spanish speakers are rejected and humiliated and not allowed to be there, those people they live the life. And if you pull out your phone, they'll break your phone. They will do a lot of things. So I would love to see how they were treated down in Miami compared to ours, because those guys are real savages. And I've been told that
David,
the second,
real quick,
yeah,
real
right.
quick. You won't ever be able, as long as you're associated with me and keep showing up at the tailgates, to be allowed to join the supporters groups because you're affiliated with Treasure Coast Collective.
Yeah, that's fine, and that's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay.
So
You know,
Ahmed's back on. Let's see if Ahmed has anything to say more about this, and then we will move on to our next topic for the night.
Yeah, no, I don't have much more to add to it. I think you guys covered it pretty much all, in that in enough detail. I just think, like I said before, I think it would have been better if it were handled a little differently. And to the point that you guys all made, it's not like the place was packed. That if they were standing somewhere they shouldn't be, yeah, there are signs, yeah, there's stuff, but you know how many times I've seen people there that don't read signs, that don't pay attention to any of it. So I just feel like handling it with just, if somebody had just taken maybe 5 minutes of extra time to figure out how we're going to handle this, we might not even be having this conversation.
Yeah,
That's really what it comes down to. That's all.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
it would have been a
All right.
total non-issue.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I mean, it is, unfortunately, as our manager says, it is what it is at the end of the day. Um, but
Oh,
boom,
well,
boom. That
words
deserves a
to the
drum hit.
fearless leader.
but moving on, today it broke from Tom Bogert, and some of us already knew that this had been in the works for about a week, or at least a week or so. Colin Gusky is rumored to be leaving our club on loan to Real Salt Lake. A player that came from Jacksonville area into our academy, made his impact on OCB. Last year signed a homegrown contract, and then this year's kind of seen a couple matches with Orlando City B. Saw a couple matches with the senior team. Has been asked to play out of position as a center back multiple times. For our senior team at times, but mainly has been asked to ride the bench for our senior team. So he's one. He's one that'll be on my end that'll be missed. I really liked him. Met his family outside of the stadium a couple times. Really nice family. Wish all the well to him. I hope he gets the minutes he needs at Salt Lake, and he's able to come back at the end of his loan and contribute to our club. And he still has interest in competing for our club and representing our club. So all the best to him. But that's not the topic. Obviously last week, Tahir Reed Brown was transferred, traded, whatever, to St. Louis City. Another player that came up, he came from Ocoee, went through the Orlando City Academy, started to make his presence known on OCB at the beginning of the year, got a couple starts, was literally thrown to the wolves against, some of the toughest opponents in the league, and struggled and really never was the same player and basically rode the bench, never really got in much with OCB, and was traded. So, basically there's rumors out there that this is just the start of players from our academy leaving. There's others out there that will remain nameless. We'll know who they are. Probably will know who they are shortly because they will be dealt away as well. One of the accounts on X actually mentioned Judelson is another one that's going to be leaving on loan from OCB. But basically, there was a number of players that allegedly were promised minutes, promised opportunity to compete for a starting job, and that hasn't happened. So essentially, those promises were broken, and they basically became disgruntled with the coaching staff and the front office, and have since requested to be moved to a team that will play them basically. And that leads me to the question of what type of club do we want to be? Do we want to be one, obviously, whenever we sign these homegrowns, we see the post, Purple Pathway, and the club posts the pictures of them, signing their U13 contract and all the jerseys that they've had through the years. Are we going to be a player that, or a club that nourishes the young player that comes from our academy and gives them the opportunity to perform and to play and truly give them the opportunity? Because somebody like Gusky, as far as I'm concerned, he has every bit of right to play as a Cartagena does. Because what Gusky showed us earlier in the season is that when he would come in, when we were getting manhandled, he was almost like he was a presence in the midfield.
He
He
got some
kind of
grit.
settled things down. What's that?
He got grit.
Yeah. And he settled things down to where we weren't going to get blown out as bad, early in the
As
season.
bad.
And all of a sudden, Cartagena's healthy, and it's like, oh no, Gusky, sit down on the bench. Cartagena's going to play because he's been here for a while. And yes, Cartagena's had a couple good matches recently, but those first several matches, boy, were they bad by Cartagena because he was knocking the rust off. Whatever, I don't think he was quite ready to come back yet. But are we going to be that club that nurtures the academy player and gives them the opportunity to play like we say we are? Or are we going to be a team like your Miamis and your LAFCs and your Atlantas that, yeah, we have an academy, but once they get to a certain level, they're stuck, and then we're just going to sell them off and,
Well,
have a bunch of players not related to the club?
Yep.
Yeah, you're talking about two different things. Number one, I think the trade part is it started with Duncan McGuire. I think when Duncan left, that opened up the doors. Duncan was a massive presence on our attack, and he's a great player. And I'm very disappointed that he left. I think it was good for him to leave because he had no opportunities anymore, right? And so with Duncan leaving, that said, okay, that kind of opened the eyes of all these other little kids. The other newbie kids are like, oh, well, now what are we going to do? If you take this thing we call football, soccer, and you look at it from a global perspective, and not even global, let's go league perspective, and you look at teams that are playing younger and younger players, those teams are doing pretty good. So why are we just holding these players back, still on the old coaches' routine, that same game that we're playing from before? And we really need to move forward. And, the Red Bulls, they're playing younger players. They're playing their B players, which won last year. And they brought them all up, signed all of them to contracts, started all of them. They started with 17-year-old players in the first game of the season and crushed it. And now look at them now playing all together, all doing great. You know, why do we have to dump these people instead of build them up? I never understood that. I don't get it. Maybe someone can speak the English for me because I don't know.
I agree with John though. I think that's the question. The question we have to ask is what kind of club are we going to be? Because it's an underlying issue over. It's like a fundamental approach to the club. It's
Oh,
like
agreed.
the pathway. And literally I was just talking about this with some parents on Sunday morning because I had no soccer games. So what do you do as a soccer parent when you have no soccer games? You go watch some other soccer games, right? So I was at actually watching some of the academy play some of my son's MLS Next teams, and we were talking about, the pathway. They're like, so do these players automatically go to OCB and then, go to the go to the academy and then OCB? I'm like, in a perfect world, that would be it. That would be these academy players in the future become OCB players, and then in the future become first team players. But that's not the way it happens because money gets involved, and that's what it ends up about being because they develop this talent. Then they're like, well, we can't really use you, so we'll kind of hype you up, and then we'll get rid of you and we'll sell you. That's
Ahmed,
kind of how it
something
goes.
happened to your microphone.
Of course it did. Of course, this
Of
is not
course.
my day today with technology. But did you guys hear what I was saying though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, you're just very,
it's
very
very low.
quiet.
Yeah, yeah. Let me. My Bluetooth disconnected.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you, unmute yourself when you're back, and then we'll go from there. I'll take over. Yeah, I mean that's exactly what he's saying. Is the problem is money gets in the way. The competitive desire for the B team to do well gets in the way. I mean, to me, there's absolutely no reason with the academy that we have and as nationally recognized as the academy is that we're signing these players from wherever, generally it's South America, but wherever, to play on our reserve team. That reserve team should be only for senior team players that maybe need a match to get their legs under them after an injury and our
Thank you.
academy kids.
Yes.
What are they doing over like what do they do overseas? Like I see in Europe at like 17 years old, they'll either say yay or nay. And that's kind of the end of it. Yay, you get to join the
Hmm.
team. Nay, you got to go to college or whatever it may be. This might not be the right thing for you. Like,
Well,
am I right by saying that? But it sounds like we do it completely ass backwards.
well, Adam, one of the things that we stopped doing as a league is loaning players to the USL. We have stopped doing that, which was counterproductive. Loaning players to the USL is how we got Dom Dwyer. Okay, Dom Dwyer was drafted out of USF to Sporting Kansas City. They didn't have a room for him. They sent him to Orlando, and history wrote itself. Right. This idea that MLS has to pretend that USL doesn't exist to me, it grinds my gears. I gotta give you an example of my two clubs, and I hate to do this, but it's what I know, right? My English team is in League One, which is third division, and it benefits from EPL teams and championship sides that need to give minutes to academy products or players that they have signed to the first team that not necessarily they have room for, right? And the people at the bottom of the pyramid, that being said, League One, League Two, National League, they benefit from these guys going to go get minutes. The academies produce three types of players: the ones the team gets to keep, to obviously to fill the
Develop.
needs. The other one is the ones that are very very good, higher than the level that the team is at right now, and they are sold for money, for cash, because obviously clubs live and die by how much money they generate. And last, players that they can develop and that they can sell to other teams in the same level. Maccabi Haifa is, in the other hand, it's at the top of the heap, right? So when they have players that want to sell outside of the country, those are the ones that command top dollar. Then there's the players that they want to keep for the team, and then there's players that they can sell to other teams or down the ladder. But there's always a fluidity, if that's like a right word, where you have the ability to go up or down the ladder depending on the need of the player and also the need of the club. Right now, we don't have that.
No,
They're
not
not.
not at all. It just
Yeah,
seems ass backwards. I don't know.
no, absolutely. And I finish with this. The problem with the in the United States is you have players that are signed to the academy with the expectation that they might be good enough for the first team. So we're selling players right now. Word on the street is that we sold a player to Chelsea, an academy player. Granados is the one that everybody brings up because it's the kid that we sold for $2 million to the Belgian league. And then there's players that we developed that go on to play in other places. Mikey Holiday, perfect example, and then players that make it to the first team. Ellis, great example of that. The academy costs money. So how do you recoup that money? Well, if you sell players, that's how you recoup that money, right? And also we have an instrument that not every league has, which is the college draft, where we usually get players that we did not develop, we did not invest. We just by the picking out of a hat, we get to have that player, and we have been very fortunate in Orlando where we have been able to draft players where we have no money invested in and make a ton of money. Daryl Dike, Duncan McGuire, those are the names that come to mind when we're talking about that.
Kyle Aaron.
The the
Hey,
the
Laren.
Larry, yeah, thank you, Larry. But Larry sort of forced his way out, and I think we didn't get top dollar as we should have.
But we still made money. I mean, we still made money off of
Yeah,
him.
absolutely, we made
And I
money.
mean, I feel like David, just to kind of reel it back in a little bit, I feel like the issue that I have with it, because you kind of said it there, is that there's, with I would equate us closer, obviously, to a Stevenage type team than a Maccabi Haifa, just because of where the league is right now in world standing. Is, Alex Freeman would be that player that we develop that's better than what our level is, and we sell him, abroad for top dollar. But it's the fact that we sell players like, you know, Gusky to a rival, or to a team in the league. Tahiri Brown to a team in the league. Thomas Williams to a team in the league. Mikey Holiday's a little bit different because he was given his chance, didn't really perform, and was cast out because of Alex Freeman. But the thing that the big aggravation for me is, why did we need to bring in Brian Ojeda when we have Gusky there? Why did we need to bring in Dorsey when we have Taifi there?
Got the answer for you.
What's up?
The answer is a simple one. It's a listen. Don't kill the messenger. It's just a rumor. The club is trying to streamline the balance sheet. There's situations in the club that where we're bleeding money. The Orlando Pride is one of them. Okay, I just don't kill the messenger. It's something that the club owns that is not generating the money that is being infused into it. And if you ask me, I'm a business
The
major.
academy players don't cost anything.
I know, but
That makes no sense what you just said. So we're
no.
essentially
That's
spending
what
money
it's a segue
for.
to my point that the club wants to balance balance the sheet, right? So the academy players are instant cash, and I'm not agreeing with the way that things are being done. The fans want to win now, and this is one of the things that we were talking on our chat. The fans want to win now, and there's a lot of people whose jobs next year depend on the results this year. So in my humble opinion, we are panicking, and we are selling assets to make room for players that we may sign. The window closes, I believe, September 9th, and we have to win now. We have to make playoffs. We have to win Open Cup for some people to feel secured in their positions. Once again, we're still having a caretaker manager. We don't have a defined idea of how we're gonna play, how we're gonna go. And John, I agree with you 100%. If we are going to spend money in the academy to develop players, is for them to finally get to the first team. If you look at our OCB, a player like Nacho Gomez. Okay, Nacho Gomez is not gonna be cheap. It's gonna cost maybe a mil and a half. It's a product of Velez in Argentina. Why are we bringing him in here? Why can't we develop somebody like of his caliber in our academy? Obviously, the Alex Freemans of the world, the Alices of the world have proven that we can do that. But it's a fine balance where our fan base is getting antsy on season 12 of not winning anything, seeing Nashville at the cusp of, quite honestly, being able to win the Supporter Shield, quite possibly win MLS after winning Open Cup last year, and they have less time in the league than we have. So,
So I
the,
and me
right,
as the fan, I'm just the fan in this whole thing. I agree with what David's saying. I think it goes two ways. Number one, I think the money is part of the problem, and then we only have 6 wins. Six, six,
But
I can
that
almost
brings me
tell.
to my point:
6 wins.
is we only have 6 wins. Why
We
did we
bet.
bring these players? If it's such a financial issue, why did we spend the extra money on these players and an emergency hire with Dorsey? Because we overpaid in GAM for him,
Absolutely.
and
But
then
here's
got Brian Ojeda when we already had somebody, two
Which I
players.
agree. There's no
We have
reason. Wow, I just cracked my voice. There's no reason for David. Don't make fun of me. There's no reason for Gusky to not play. There was absolutely no reason, and it was a waste to bring him in. But the reason when they brought him in is because they make money. You have to look at it from that perspective. They still make money, whether they bring him in or not. If he's not here, they can't make money.
Because they're going over there with option to sell. So,
Exactly.
and Goski
and
is a national team player at the end of the day. I mean, yes, not the first team national team player, but still national team player nonetheless. And our academy continues to send kids into the college game and overseas. So we are making money either way. And John, I agree with you 1,000%, brother. It makes no sense
making
if we're
any
gonna
cash
invest.
off of it.
but the thing is also this approach that we're taking. I know we're talking about this season, but it's not unique to this season. We've done the
Yeah.
same thing in the past.
And
So
that's my
what you
problem
guys
as
are
a fan.
what you guys are saying is 100% right. It's probably, it's a monetary thing this season. But what about the seasons in the past when we did the same things with academy players that we sign and they get like 30 seconds to play, they sit on the bench for the rest of the time, and then we hear thank you, Fabian Loyola, thank you so and so, thank you
Lion
this.
for
They never
life.
get, it's like they never got a minute, and it's like what was the point?
So
The thing
the
is too,
Freeman
Ahmed.
effect is huge. The Freeman effect. It is
Yes.
when Freeman came on last year and everyone was like, "Who's this kid?" And it was everyone was so blown away that we had a debut player from our academy starting on the first team. How dare you take out Torkel? I can't even say his name.
Dagger Dan
Tiger Dan.
Carlson.
So Dan lost Dagger Dan lost his starting position because of Freeman. How dare you do that?
A fan favorite, by the way, Adam.
Yeah, of course. And I hope he's doing well in up north,
San
wherever
Diego.
he's at.
San Diego. He's in
So
San
He
Diego.
got he just got traded to San Diego.
good for him.
So
So
you're
he's got
gonna
a
get
good
to
coach
see him
now.
soon.
He's got a good
Yeah.
coach. So, but my point is, like, the Freeman effect is so huge, and our academy is now so well known because of the Freeman effect. That's why I think they're taking advantage of it now. I
I
think that's part
partially
of it.
disagree with you there, Adam.
I don't
Our
care what
our
you.
academy our academy's good because our academy's good.
I
Our academy was there before Freeman Freeman got huge and everything. Before the fall and everything.
Now,
Our
John,
academy
correct me if
was
I'm wrong. And Ahmed, I believe how we started our academy is we already bought an academy that was already established in Central Florida. I believe the Crush. Am I correct, Ahmed?
yeah,
You probably know.
we kind of merged with them. It was
Yeah.
yeah, it was I want but still
So we bought into something that was already established.
But it was still failing when before Poppy came in. It
Right.
was failing before Poppy
Absolutely.
came in.
Absolutely.
Poppy
Because
came in, and
yeah.
who was before Ricardo, the GM.
And we tried the thing with Mount Verde that was a complete
Yeah.
disaster.
But
So
our academy's so well known around the country because of the results that they're getting on the field. Where this past season we had one of the best U19 or U17s. We had one. We didn't have a good U19 because all of our U19s were playing for OCB and the senior team.
right, we had good
We had
you
a good
fifteen.
U15, a good
Mhm.
U13. Not be and they were acknowledged because of the product on the field in those divisions, not because of Alex Sherman. Alex Sherman helped bring the
Yeah.
popularity to Orlando City. Going, wow, they were able to develop this guy.
But John, you
But
and I, are the exception. Actually, all of us are
yes,
the exception. How many times in this show all of us in this show, we go to OCB games, we go to academy games, our club, I'm sorry, our podcast follows players in the academy. We show them love, we show their highlights, we talk to the parents, we do all that. But we are not the run of the mill Orlando City fan, the run of the mill Orlando City fan,
That's me.
the Adams of the world. He's raising his hand. The Adams of the world buy their ticket and want to see wins. They want to see incredible golazos. They want to do all that. And I get that. I understand that part. My son is a huge Orlando Magic fan. We went to one game for the Osceola Magic, and it's like I don't care about that. I care about the first team. Us, John, we care about the institution of Orlando City, top to bottom. That's the reason why we have made the contacts that we have made. We have the appreciation from a lot of people in and out of the club because we care about the institution. We talked about topics that other podcasts, I have to say, steered away, because the reason extra exists was John's vision, like I have said before, of having a forum where we could talk about things that perhaps the regular fan doesn't care for. This is sort of us, chewing the fat on the hot topics that perhaps are not palatable for a lot of people and that may put people in a bad light. But the thing is that a lot of fans just want to win, man. And I John already said that if we're gonna invest if we're gonna invest and bring these kids over. One of the things that hurt me, Wilfredo Rivera, who when I had the Spanish podcast, I interviewed his parents. Incredible story, incredible pedigree. The guy was never given a shot. He's now in Argentina playing for Barracas, doing very good with the Puerto Rico national team. So why he couldn't find success here? Why he couldn't find success here? If you argue, oh, he wasn't good enough, there wasn't room for him.
That's not
Okay,
true. I
this
don't agree with that. Yeah, it's not true.
but the problem is if you go right now to a Facebook group or you go on X and you look at what people are posting, people want to win now. People are already complaining that bringing Griezmann was a bad decision. That he's not a team player. That he's not engaged.
All right.
And Ahmed is laughing because he
I
knows.
just want him to shoot it at half field when he can. That's all I care about.
yeah.
But you
I
know
mean,
what, Dave?
go ahead,
Go ahead.
Ahmed. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, but I agree with you. But the thing about it is, this is also about changing that culture. Because you know what people would pay to go see, even if we're losing? If it's the kids that they know from their local academy that they've seen go through the system. That's what's missing here in this society, right? Because we have that disconnect. You know what happens? We go see those kids in OCB. Why are we so excited about them? Because we see them go from OCB to the first team when they make it. Imagine if you multiply that. If you know that all the kids that are in the academy have a 90% chance, whereas like now it's like a 9% chance of making it to OCB. And then from there, they have a pathway unless they totally screw something up to get to the first team. You're going to build a following around that team because of the kids that are there,
Yeah.
right?
And
And
that's
that's what's
why,
missing.
and that's
So you,
part of the reason why in Europe and other places in the world, their teams are so local. I mean, for instance, Ahmed, imagine your son that plays for Orlando City South.
Mhm.
imagine one of his friends makes it and plays for the senior team, how passionate he'll be cheering for Orlando City then.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's
You
what we're
know,
missing. Yes.
and
Because
it's
then, yeah.
got
No, no.
and that's where the passion comes from. That's where the like David was saying, Stu's friends were saying, the real culture comes from, is getting the local kids,
Hmm.
whether they're were rejected by Miami like Ellis was, or somebody like Zachariah Taifi that's been with Orlando City since he could be with the academy, and you
Yeah.
see it. You see, there's a reason why in that friendly versus the Rowdies before during the break, the first team put up 2 goals, the real first team. Then they
Hmm.
bring on some OCB kids. They score another goal. And then they overhaul it with OCB kids. And they score 3 goals in 30 minutes or whatever it was, 25 minutes. Because it means something more. The badge, when you come through an academy and play on Orlando City B, the badge carries a weight to it. It carries
Yep.
a meaning to it. And you see it with those kids.
There's
You see it.
something. I'm sorry,
You
John.
saw it last. You saw it last Wednesday. There was a moment there were several moments in that match where you saw what our academy kids can do. There was some beautiful passages of play in that match, and we had a 2-0 lead. And then what
Yeah.
happens? We bring in some of
And
the senior players, and we give up a 2-0 lead
yeah.
that the young kids had worked to build.
And I think it's also important to clarify, like if you're listening to this now, we're not saying that the team has to be all academy, but
Hmm.
there is so much talent in that academy that if we tapped into, I don't know, 5% of it, because we're not even tapping into that much, or I don't know what percent, but we're tapping into like barely the tip of the iceberg. You could see a much different Orlando City team in the way they play, but also, and more importantly, in this level of support they're getting from the fans.
And you don't even, and to follow up with that, you don't see that.
That's what I
You
mean.
don't, it's the same old, same old. Poppy played the same team
Adam,
every week after
the
week.
Yeah.
support, the season ticket holders get free tickets to OCB. People are not taking advantage of that.
I just don't have the time.
Yeah,
Shut up.
no,
Yeah.
that's perfectly fine.
But
But
you know
a lot
what?
of
But here's
people
the
don't.
thing. You know who would have the time? The parents of the kids to go watch them.
I know. I'm just
You see
saying.
what I'm
There
saying?
you go.
I don't get why these kids aren't getting opportunities up. And I agree
Yeah.
with you. Being a long time, season holder, ticket holder, I get it. I see it. And I've heard you guys say it, and I still see it. And
Yeah.
I don't get why people like Gusky and
Yeah.
even McGuire, like why were they even brought up to just get dumped off?
Hmm.
There's
There's
no
something
point.
wholesome when you see Gustavo Caraballo playing for the first team, and he can't even drive himself to the stadium. Mom had to
I
do
mean,
it
it's
because
just
he was too young.
it's I was during the World Cup, the person I saw out on the field was my local guy, Alex Friedman. And not that I'm on his riding his jock or anything, but I am proud
Yeah.
of him as an Orlando fan.
I was
And I
too.
want him to
Exactly.
succeed. And I want to
Yes.
watch him develop and move on to the next levels. And I am so frustrated that we don't have any other opportunity other than to just
And we should. And listen, this is what I was bragging during the World Cup when people are fawning over Alex Freeman. I watched Alex Freeman score goals in front of 100 people. Half of them were parents.
right.
It was
Yeah.
me, John. It was me, John, and a bunch of family members. I mean, that's how it was. And we got Ahmed into coming to the games and all that.
David, you didn't call me and invite me. I don't feel loved.
I would, Adam, I would have, brother. But
All right.
the thing is that culturally, if we get our fan base, and by the way, I don't make it to every single OCB game. I watch them mostly. It's Sunday. My Saturdays I committed. My family. Going to service. Going to the games, and Sundays are tough. But I try to make it at least 1 or 2 games or 3 games a season to support the boys. Trust me, when you show up for OCB, they remember you. They remember you. They know. The parents always do. And these families are Orlando City through and through. If you saw the picture of Williams with his dad, even though his son was playing for Nashville, his dad had an Orlando City jersey. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just how it is, man.
It's just
The-
frustrating that these poor kids are getting abused and I mean not abused. I guess that's the wrong word. I feel maybe taken advantage of, duped,
Yes,
it's professional football. And that's how it is. You know,
but
you
it's not.
gotta.
It shouldn't be that way. It
but
shouldn't
it's
be
not
that.
even that. Yeah,
Why
it's
are
not
we?
even that because if we brought them to the first team and we sold them, that's fine. But we're selling them because for the wrong reasons. We're
Yeah,
selling them
exactly.
because
You
we're
nailed it on the
you know
head. That's it.
that's what it is. It's not about selling them. It's like bring them up through the team, give them an opportunity, and if they don't do well, sell them. If they do well, sell them for even more money. But give them that. We're not giving them that opportunity, and it becomes like this whole big deal. Imagine if that whole Freeman thing could happen four
Year after
times a
year.
year.
Yeah, I
You know
know.
what I mean? It's like, oh my god.
Well, four. I will say 4 times a year. I'll be happy if it happens once every other year.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I
Like
know
more
what you mean.
frequently, it doesn't
Yeah,
have to be to the same extent, but bringing those players, letting them play, letting them come and go. You
yeah.
know,
It doesn't have to be
but
a flash in the pan type of deal. It's something that we need to
yeah,
get
make it a
used to
regular
happening.
occurrence.
Yeah,
Exactly, exactly.
and we're seeing it with Gusky this year to a point. Luck for or not Gusky for Ellis. I think if Ojeda hadn't gotten injured, we wouldn't be seeing anything of Ellis.
Exactly.
He'd be the second or third attacker off the bench right now.
Hmm.
And he's on the conversation for the Olympic team.
Yeah. Oh, well into he's on the Olympic team at this point.
Yeah,
He's
but
always
imagine, yeah,
he's
imagine him
always
sitting on the
played a
bench.
division up.
Imagine him just sitting on the bench the whole season, not getting any minutes because the first team players are healthy. What would have happened to him? Same thing that's happening to Gusky.
He
Yeah.
wouldn't be going to the Olympics. He wouldn't be this, that, or the other.
Yeah.
And I
But
mean,
he's going to be
Look at
in the
Taifi.
conversation.
Taifi was invited. I mean, made the U23 camp for Morocco, one of
Hmm.
the best U23 teams in the world, and he wouldn't have gotten that if he didn't get the run of play
And
earlier
they
in the
are
season.
scary, scary good.
Like really scary
They are
good.
scary good.
Like probably two World Cups from now might be favored to win good.
I would say they're in that. Definitely, you're close to that.
Yeah.
They in the next two or three rotations. They will. Yeah, they've done something special.
And one of our players that so far since the break in the four league matches, has ridden the bench.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I think it's part of the old regime coming out. That's what I think it
It
is.
has to be something to that effect because it's just to me it's unacceptable. You see a front office that's that hypes it up. Like I said when we started talking about it, hypes it up. All purple pathway. Look at we signed these guys to homegrowns. We're forgetting about Bernardo Ryan, who unfortunately now has a thigh injury, which is another topic we can get to about the injuries that have been killing us since this new manager, since the interim manager really took over and has the players training the way he wants. But Ryan got a chance because we're terrible at left back. Unfortunately, it does look like he's not available tomorrow. He's out with a thigh injury. So we're relying on Marin now to play left back again. Yay. But
No comment.
yeah. But it's one of those, you guys are 100% right. It's a culture change in our fan base that has to happen. I mean, you look at it, and I've always been this way. I've been with college sports. I'm looking at recruiting boards and stuff for who's coming into the schools I cheer for in basketball and American football. At the college level, I'm looking at that stuff. I've always loved looking at that stuff, looking at prospects and stuff. And, luckily, knock on wood, two of the three guys I've really been high on the last 3 or 4 years have panned out to be very good for us. And the three guys are Williams, um, Freeman, and Ellis. because I was singing Ellis's praises last spring after seeing him in the Georgia Cup at the U19 level, playing 2 years up because he was 17 at the time. And the dude absolutely, I know Caraballo got MVP, but Ellis was the one that set up a lot of those goals for Caraballo. And you see it now with the way Ellis is playing on the senior
I
team.
just hope we don't lose some of these younger players that are studs just because it comes down to money.
Well, and that's what I was saying with David is trading them to somebody in the league or putting them on a loan in the league. You're not gaining any money because it's all monopoly money. It's all garber bucks that you get generally. Like for Tahir Reed Brown, we got 100K in GAM. Why not sell him to a USL team, to a Canadian Premiership team, to a team in Liga MX or Liga MX 2, or someplace in South America, which he may not fit into. I understand. So, a Championship or League One team in England. I actually think he would thrive in the Championship or League One in England because of the
we
type of
we
player
could
he
be
is.
selling players all over the world. I don't know the particulars of why we don't, but like you said, one of the things that our detractors, the MLS detractors have, and we have to agree because it's the truth, is the situation that we have right now where MLS Next is created. It has curtailed the fact that we were able to loan our players to teams that will pay real hard cash for those loans. Clubs that will buy those players with cash because the Garber Bucks do nothing. It's monopoly money, man. It's just make believe. The club doesn't earn anything, does not create revenue, and I just don't. I personally just don't think that these players really benefit from any of this. Some of the players that were from our academy that are no longer playing football. Mikey Holiday has retired. The best case of all this is Tommy Redding, who now is an IT guy, lives in Oviedo, and and that's those are the things. There's a lot of good talent that unfortunately football is
Falls
just
off the
part of,
wayside.
yeah, it's just part of their life for a seasonal time, and then it ceases to be.
Well, and then you look at the guy that we drafted from Notre Dame a couple years ago that won the Player of the
Jacqueline,
Season.
who is
Jack
working
Glenn.
for Merrill Lynch in Chicago as a
Yeah.
finance advisor.
What was it? A year after winning that, he decides to retire.
Yeah, yeah, and he's working for Merrill Lynch in Chicago. I mean, Google it.
I mean,
Look
but
it up.
and we understand like every player on OCB is not going to make the senior team.
But that's where I talk about
Every
you're going
player
to make
from the
it or
account.
not play it. That's where that difference is.
Yeah,
So
and that conversation has to be had with them. If you don't think Tahir Reed Brown's good enough to be on your senior team, you need to have that conversation with him. And maybe that conversation was had, and that's why we sold him. But it sure looked like that conversation never happened because he continually was on the bench for the senior team. And you would assume if you're on the bench for the senior team, if you see somebody on the bench for the senior team, you think they're good enough to play for the senior team.
they're supposed to be on the senior team.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just it's very frustrating to see this year after year. Um, you know, it's yeah, man. I could go on about it forever.
Next.
All right, I guess that wraps up that topic. And right now is a good time because I believe David and Ahmed have to say goodbye to us for tonight. We'll let them give their parting words, starting with David.
Pardon the noise in the background. Quickly, Adam, it was a pleasure to finally want to share microphones with you.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and thank you, sir. And the at the end of the day, guys, because obviously we don't shy away from tough topics. Um, I just want to make it clear that these are our opinions. The person, the my personal opinions that I express. I'm not claiming that I'm right. I'm not claiming that I'm wrong. I'm not, I'm just a fan, and the whole purpose of the show has always been to give a platform to different opinions. You may agree or disagree with them. It was, I just want to make it clear that we embrace everybody. If you are rooting for Orlando City, you are in my camp, and we just want the best for the club, and so I just want to leave it. I want to leave it with that, because I know that once this is published, we're always gonna get the strays that we always do, but that's why you guys tune in, because if you wanted the rah rah rah, there's plenty of places where you can go and get that propaganda, but we want to be different, we want to be unique. So thank you very much, Sean, for the space, for having me on again. And hopefully, like I said on the main show, hopefully this week will bring some good things to be happy about. And we'll see what Orlando City has in store for us. Thank you again, and with that, I bid adieu.
Catch you later, David. Ahmed, you got
See you,
some
David.
goodbyes to say, or you
Yeah,
want to say?
man. I mean, honestly, I think for everything that we say and all the stuff that we talk about, the team is doing positive things. We're just looking ahead, because we're passionate and we're just wanting the best for the club. And we see these things. And, maybe to your point, maybe those conversations are being had. Maybe there are things that we don't know, but it doesn't look like from on the surface. And I think that's a part of our frustration. So, kudos to the club for trying to do the best things that they can. But I think there's a lot that could be doing more, especially when it comes to the stuff that we talked about today. And I think it's not always easy to talk about. Not everybody wants to talk about it because it's not a quick conversation. And we could talk about each one of these things for hours on end, especially the four of us.
Oh yeah,
We could sit
oh
here
yeah,
and talk about it forever. But
Hey, I'm
I
new
think
at
it's
this.
important to, yeah, but I think it's important to put it out there because everybody's thinking it, but nobody says it.
definitely, definitely.
So I think that's the best thing we're doing. So I'm glad I was able to join you because I've been trying to do it for like forever. So
Hmm. And
it's
we still
always
got to get
awesome.
to your special segment. Just with your
Yeah.
schedule, it was a little rough tonight.
Yeah.
Eventually on the show, we'll get Ahmed wants to talk about youth soccer and specifically youth soccer parents and youth soccer
Referees.
referees and all of that good stuff because
Yeah.
obviously he has the most experience out of any of us on the
I
show
was
with
actually
that.
thinking that might be like another cool segment of videos to possibly do at some point. Just focusing on
Possibly.
like, because how we've always said like let the kids play. I was thinking that could be like a cool
Let
segment
the kids
just about
play.
like the academy players, the youth players, just all under that Orlando City umbrella. And maybe
Hmm.
that'll kind of help bring things to light a little bit. So who knows?
Maybe.
Whatever. It's not like I
Yeah.
have any time to do that though, but it sounded good. It sounded good in my head. So I don't know. We'll talk about it and I see. So,
Definitely. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
all right, cool. Well, thanks again, guys. Have a good night. I'll talk to you
Later,
My
soon.
man.
pleasure. Thanks, Ahmed.
Bye.
All right, Adam.
I
And then
just
it
like
was
to
just
chime
us.
in when I can. I don't know.
What's that?
I just chime in when I can.
Yeah, no, definitely. So with all that being said, obviously, we got a lot of guys on the injured list, a lot of starters, regular starters, guys that would be starting on the injured
Yeah,
list coming
yeah.
back from injuries.
I don't understand. How these people are all getting hurt. I baffles my mind
Hmm.
how in practice you have major injuries happening.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
it just leads to one thing, to overtraining, essentially.
I mean, I don't. Martino, hey,
Hmm.
what's going on with him?
So allegedly, the story is it was
A thigh injury,
I believe it was a hamstring strain, not pull,
right?
strain, from a training session. And I believe Brian Ojeda is something he picked up towards the end of the match, um, last Saturday, I believe it was. Yeah, whenever
I get in match injuries, and that's going to happen. That's part of
yeah,
the
and
game.
then obviously the one that Ryan came down with was in, you know, in the match. I didn't like the way it looked when he went down because it looked like a hamstring. I wish the club would be a little more
Forthwith.
upfront, yeah, with what they
Yeah.
what the injury is. It's better than it used to be because it used to be it would say upper leg injury out. At least we get somewhat of a
I wish there was
little
an
more
NFL
generalization.
injury report like they're required to do.
Yeah, but the
I
league
don't
doesn't require
understand
it.
how somebody who is so valuable to this team, a number one scorer, our number one, our Mr. Go-To, our head DP, our guy, the person who is supposed to be like the best friend to G-Man coming in, is out because of a training injury.
Yeah,
That's, as a fan of American sports, that to me is not acceptable.
definitely,
Not
absolutely.
acceptable on so many levels that you take your premier top player, your literally all-star golden boot person, and he gets injured in a break that we had a month and a half off, and he's injured and he's still not back. Like, this is,
Yeah,
I
we were told 3 to 6 weeks before gets back. Three to 6 weeks before he gets back
so
to full
he
training.
had a major injury during training.
Yeah,
So it's kind of that same story. It's following the same thing we had before, that grind, 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 grind. And you see it in the way they're playing, their way they're being forced to play now is they're grinding, 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 and they don't stop. They're not giving them a break. The only reason they played the B players on in that Opens Cup the other day was because I think they had no choice, but they were
League's Cup.
told, yeah, the League's Cup, whatever it was.
Well,
That
it was a meaningless game.
it was a
First of
meaningless
all,
game, and what if something happened to somebody? And you notice as soon as we put the top players in, we really didn't even do much anyway.
yeah, we gave up the lead.
Yeah, like G-Man could have shot from half field open. Everyone's like, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it. And he passes. Are you kidding me? Mr. 300 goals passes the ball because he wants to be generous. Are you kidding me? I think there's something going on that we are not purview of when it comes to training and what they're doing and how intense they're being trained. And there's something wrong with management and training and all of that, because our guys look like they're dead. And on Sunday or on Saturday, we played Cincinnati, they looked it.
Yeah, no, 100%. They looked, yeah. And Cincinnati did have a day off extra, but that shouldn't really affect it that much. We'll
Shouldn't
see how
matter.
we look.
I had my
Yeah.
best friend who lives in Cincinnati talking shit to me the entire time. And I was like, no, we're going to kick your butts. We're going to kick your butts. I promise you, we're going to. And I just talking smack. It was so much fun. And then we end up tying because we can't pass the ball in the box properly. I mean, I don't
Well, it's not even about to me. It's not even passing the ball about in the box properly. It's trying to walk the ball into the net instead of
yeah, just
somebody just putting their foot through the ball.
just kick it in the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to do the perfect. Like, you don't have to walk it in every minute, every time. You don't have to. And it's so frustrating that they had so many opportunities and they just don't take it. And I think they're told by management to pass, not
Other
shoot.
coaches, yeah.
And that's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And I mean,
why
we
wouldn't?
saw it with Poppy too. I mean, how many times in
Oh yeah, I'm
23,
saying
24 were we sitting there as fans and we were sitting there, I call it playing patty cake with the ball in the box because that's what they're doing. Put a foot through the ball and put it towards the net.
my wife yells at me. She tells me to shut up all the time because I'm here yelling. Just kick it in. Just garbage goal. Did anyone watch the World Cup and how many garbage goals there were? Just put it in the box. Just put. Who knows what's going to happen? But put it in. At least give it a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just tippy tap.
Yeah.
You're tippy tapping every. Oh, we're required to do 13 taps before we can take a shot. No, that's basketball. That's not that's not football.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Like I am so frustrated with the way they're playing this season, and it's frustrating. And then people are getting injured, and because they're getting injured, they have to play like we're playing our lower players. But those lower players are playing better than like it's so
Mhm.
ass backwards this season. I don't understand where we're going to end up because I have a feeling we are either going to end up at the top of the board or we're just going to be not even make the playoffs. And yeah,
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the one thing
E-Man's going to retire at the end of this year. That's
no,
what I think.
he's not retiring at the end of this year. The one thing I did like, about the end of this, about the end of the match is how Griezmann did in the attack. Seemed like he took a little more of the initiative on the attack and tried to take a little, more of the like you want your player with his pedigree to do, and say, "Hop on board, guys! I'm going to score us the goal to win it." It seemed like to me he kind of did that a little bit more at the end of the match than he had
Well,
in
because
previous
he had to
matches.
play half of the midfield too, and he
Yeah.
had like what have I always said? What do I text you every single time?
Hmm.
Our midfield sucks. We have
Yeah.
no midfield. We
Yeah.
have no midfield, and he has to play midfield, which I think he should be in the midfield. I think he should be that midfield, that offensive midfield player. That's the coach. That's
Yeah.
his legs aren't. He can't do it. He just can't keep this pace. He will not be able to keep this pace, and I'm worried that he's going to get very injured, where he's going to be out for multiple months, and it's because of something along the lines of training.
The thing, and I know, time's undefeated, but the thing is he's always played a lot and knock on wood has never had a major injury.
Well, welcome to Orlando City.
Yeah. And welcome to the Heat.
Right.
So with that being said, what you said, and kind of what I was leading into, obviously Brian Ojeda's out, Martin Ojeda's out, DK's still getting back into the swing of things. Lineups. When these guys in the next couple months all are healthy, and Brian Ojeda, there's rumors he may be put on the season-ending injury list, may not be. So swap Ojeda for Atuesta, or if our prayers are answered, another, a better.
I so hope we bring in some midfielders.
Mhm.
Please, God, soccer gods, I'm begging for a good midfielder. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So I just, I had a couple different. I was playing around with it.
Let's see what you got
Today.
Let's
Go with the good old narrow 4-2.
Well, why is the white? Why is there one white circle with no picture? Come on, man.
Because Ryan doesn't have a
Oh, whatever.
photo.
Okay, let's see what we got here. We got DK up top, Ellis. I kind of like that. See, I to me. So you have DK up top. You have so he's your striker. Then you have
striker.
what?
Out and out striker, yeah.
Yeah, he's your striker. Then you have your two wingers, or your two offensive, whatever you want to call those guys.
Yeah,
Your
attacking
number 9,
midfielders.
Your number 8, number 9. That would be Ellis and Ojeda, and then Griezmann in the middle, kind of like a top diamond.
Yeah.
Didn't we play that something along those lines with what's that coach's name that Poppy replaced?
O'Connor.
Yes. Didn't we play this kind of diamond?
With a lot less skilled players, yes.
Yeah. And then you have the two midfielders of Otavio and Brian O'Hara, but I think he's out. He's out.
Yeah, so replace him with whoever, Cartagena. Would fit naturally into
the other side.
Yeah.
And then you have Reina, El Capitan, Brecalo, and Dorsey. So I have two problems with this. One is our defense is still not great. I think Brecalo is too short fused. He gets too many cards. He's too aggressive sometimes, which aggressive is good, but you got to be controlled. And at the end of the day, I think he's just not skilled, and his aggressiveness comes across because he's not as skilled as Janssen. I really think the first thing we need to shore up is that back line, where our next to Janssen, he needs help. Janssen is a beast, and I don't know why he has never been on All-Star, and it baffles my mind. He is the force back there, and he is struggling with nobody really to depend on. And now Rain is out, so we're stuck with Hoo-Ha from the beginning of the season. That was horrible.
So if you believe what Andrew Wiebe said on Saturday, because I rewatched the match, according to him, and according, and you're probably going to roll your eyes when I say this, because I feel like you have a lot of the same opinion I do about this.
I have nothing. I have no opinion.
According to Wiebe, Ricardo said that we will be bringing in a left back by the end of the transfer window.
Sure we are.
Like I said, you're going to roll your eyes. Like, cool. Like you said this was going to be such a big transfer window, Ricardo. We signed one player.
I got crickets on. Where all these? Come on.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. So we're selling the team off to now bring in the other team. Like, you're selling the talent to get more talent that we don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Like 6'7". I don't know. So I mean, this 11-year-old. I can't help it. It's all day. Never stop.
Good.
So
I dropped that in my new work training. She asked if we wanted, because of the way something worked out, we had to switch when our lunch was from like 4 to 5. And she's like, "Do we wanted 6 to 7 or 2 to 3?" And I had to put the gif of somebody doing that in there.
I'm just saying we were told, and then now we're scrambling because our coach is horrible, and we can't seem to win a game, and we have an opportunity with this team that you have. Those guys, that's a winning team. Why can't we win? We don't have a good defensive line. We're missing out on people. We need to get a left back. We need to get a midfielder, and we need to get a solid defender to replace Brekalo, center forward, or center back, I mean. And I don't understand why we're playing these other games. But we were told all this stuff's going to happen when Graceman comes. We're going to have all this stuff happen. Nothing. This is all I got to play. That's it. That's all I got. Crickets. All right. You have any other options? Any other options for lineups?
I got one more, and I know you're gonna hate it.
I'm sure I am. Let me see. Oh, yeah. You're out of your mind. Dorsey is never gonna let Griezmann be on the same side. No way. No. Okay, so we have
so real quick before you break it down a little bit. Tincho Ojeda, Ellis, and Griezmann, they're not going to be stuck like that.
Oh, no,
1 second they'll be free roaming. 1 second Ellis will be out on the right, Ojeda will be in the middle, Griezmann will be on the left, and then that's going to be kind of like the front two we're doing now. Right. Just switch, because all three of those are interchangeable. Ojeda tends to like to come in from the left a little, be on the left-hand side a little bit more. Griezmann prefers to come, be a little bit more on the right-handed. That's just why I have it lined up like that. I could have put those three in any of those attacking midfielder / winger spots, and it'd be interchangeable.
What happened to number 77? Where is he in this mix?
Where would you put him? You're going to start him over Ojeda?
I would put him over DK right now.
Never.
You're out of your mind.
He does not have. He doesn't have any finishing product. His product in the final third is terrible.
It's a matter of he has the legs that can get the wheels to get the ball up top.
We need goals right now.
DK hasn't put it. He's horrible. He sucks. He needs more time.
Who else are you going to put up there? I'm not putting Cartagena. I'm not putting Cartagena up top.
There's no chance whatsoever.
And you're not going to start. You're not going to start you're not going to start Angulo over Ojeda. You're not going to
No,
start him
no,
over
yeah,
Ellis.
I get it. I know.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to hate this lineup.
Mhm.
So up top you have Daryl DK as the premium guy up top. What about Pasalic? Where's he been in all this mess of a hot mess? Can he play midfield? Doesn't he
No,
play
he's a winger. He doesn't like to defend.
Yeah, let's put him in. So anyway, all the way on the right hand side, we have Griezmann playing out there, picking his nose. On the left hand side, we got Ojeda out there because he loves to curl it in. In the middle, driving everything is the rookie sensation. I would switch those two. I put Griezmann in the middle, just for looks. That's just me.
Yeah.
And then the same as we had from the previous below. My only issue with this would be I think the middle would get too. I think the mix match, they would get lost if you stayed in this kind of formation. I personally would run a 5. I would run a 5 back line.
Yeah, I mean, then you're running. We only have at this time 3 center backs.
I know. I'm just saying.
So that
That's
means
what
you have
I
to
would go
bring
with.
another
I would go
center
with
back
5.
in, and a left winger, left wing back, because Ryan Marin is not a left wing back.
No, not even close. And that's where we're struggling.
Mm-hmm.
So you see my issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree with the first. I think the first.
But I'm more worried about the front 3, 4, 5 players. I
agree.
I know you're worried about Angulo, and that's the issue. Is the reason I couldn't take and do a single pivot and had to keep that double back there is because of how bad our defense has been.
Yeah, it's hard. It's so hard.
And I'm sorry, Janssen isn't apart from it. He's played good. He's been our best defender, but he still hasn't been his normal self. I mean,
He's been injured from day one.
Yeah, well, he's not injured now because of the break. But you look at, like, for instance, last Wednesday, the first goal, that the man that ended up heading the ball in flashed right in front of him on the line, and he didn't follow him like you're supposed to.
I know.
You look at the second goal, Iago, and it's not just Iago; it's Brekalo and Janssen. Both have been victims of
our
this,
whole defense is
where they don't take that extra step to the man that has the ball right on the top of the 18, and they give him too much space, and they drop to one knee and try to block it, and the guy has too much space.
And then Dorsey runs all the way up to be all the way shaking hands with DK, saying, "Hi, it's been a minute. You remember me?" And we're stuck with now only really 2 center backs that have really quality, even though there's 3 back there, and they kind of just get. That's what I'm saying. I think we should run a 5. I think we should do a 5. Figure it out. Now's the time to figure it out. If we want to do a playoff push or anything for the future for the next rotation of seasons, because we have a little short season, a little whoo-hoo, and then we have the big season coming up after that, which will be the international season, right? If we want to set up for that to really set us up for the future, that's what we need to do, because we need to. We're not set up for that now. This is not. The way we're playing is horrible, and I agree with you. I like the first one better, to be honest. But our defense is my issue, and I think the offense with Griezmann in the center will coach that along, and he will actually push that up, just like Janssen is forced to kind of keep the defense at bay. Even though Griezmann's not a captain, he's not the captain of the team. He can run the offense the way he needs to have it run, and Janssen keeps that defense in line. That's all. That's all that. That's it.
So
that's what I
get
think.
This up. So hearing you talk.
You're changing stuff, aren't you?
Yep, I got a new one for you. Just give me a moment to bring it up. Don't talk tactics to me. You can ask.
I got time
to girlfriend. I'm a mad scientist.
I'll do this all day long.
Comes to if I can hit the right buttons.
Hit those
when it comes to talking formations and tactics. That's why I fail at the game at the video game Football Manager so bad. It's because I'm just a mad scientist sitting there trying.
All right, come on, move your game. Let's make this happen.
It's coming up.
I'm gonna keep hitting buttons here because I got sound effects for days.
There you go. Is that more of what you were talking about? Something like that?
I would do the two up top. I would put the two of them side by side. Ellis and Griezmann side by side. Yeah. Yeah. But you still need it. I would put Janssen in the middle, but you can't have him in the middle where he should be. Why can't you have him in the middle? Because he has to recover for Reina all the way on the end, but he should be in the middle. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Well, depending on the philosophy of the coaching staff, you would either want Brecalo or Iago in the middle. The reason you want Brecalo is he's more of the ball playing midfielder or ball playing center back. And Iago, because again, depending on the philosophy, you want your biggest and strongest center back to play, to be in that middle, depending on the philosophy. So, Janssen, I don't think ever would play in the middle, but just because he doesn't really. If we didn't have Iago, yeah, Janssen would be your biggest and strongest center back.
Right.
Since there's Iago there.
But he also has to make up for the newbie.
Yeah.
Which that's an issue all in itself, but that's fine.
So you'd basically want us to go back to playing the 5-3-2.
I think 5-3-2 is the best way to go.
Okay.
I think that's the best way to go because what it does, it creates the opportunity for those sides for them to run up, which I know they love to have that, but we still need that defensive line. And we don't we lose the defensive line when we play with a 4. You lose it.
Yeah.
That's it. And if anytime Dorsey goes up, they know it. They already the other team already knows it. The other time that Dorsey goes up, where do they go? They go right down the right side.
Yep. And then when we're set, where do they go? The left side.
The left side, because they know we won't shift.
Yeah.
It's. I get it. I know. That's why I'm saying we should play with 5.
Yeah.
But what do I know?
So
I'm not a podcaster.
Looking at something more like that.
Yeah, that's it. And maybe even cheat Ojeda up in the middle. Up top, a little bit more. So you have a false diamond there. So
Yeah. So on basically, the one shortfall in Foot Mob is they don't have arrows. I would agree when the attack happens, Ojeda would swing centrally more and be more of a progressive midfielder. Otavio would stay single. Kind of Angulo and Ojeda would shift up and kind of,
And
depending on where the ball is.
Midfielder that we need.
Yeah, would really drop back and be the solo 6.
Because then you have the coverage from the other two going up, from Dorsey and Reina going.
Yeah.
But the problem is when that happens, when Dorsey goes up and they're pushing up, and we lose the ball, which, as you know, we do the tippy tappy tappy tap 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 tap, right? Then what happens is they kick it over the midfield right to the offense. We lose the ball, and now we're in a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 against their top players. Happens every game.
Well, that's where you would hope Otavio, which he did it on Saturday, is able to stop a lot of those. I mean, he had 3 or 4 key tackles.
This is what I would like to see. Now, obviously, we can't do it because we're missing a few people because of injury, but this setup would be perfect for us. I think this is what we need to have going forward. And even if Griezmann, if you put DK where Griezmann is, and then take Griezmann and put him where Otavio's. Because now he's running the offense, and he's not running. You're not working him so much.
See, I would say you're actually working him more because that 6 usually is supposed to put in Miles. Because when
he can run for days, but he doesn't have. He's not pacing. It's different. Remember, it's different kind of running. It's a 6 is more of is this kind of circling and more feeding into this, feeding into that. You go here, you go. They're controlling.
Well, I'm worried about in transition when Dorsey's pushed up, Ryan's pushed up, Angulo's pushed up, Ojeda's pushed up. Griezmann would be back by back wouldn't be near the box then where we want him, to be
Yeah,
that
but where
threat
where is he playing now?
in the attack. I mean, I'm saying when the ball's on the down by the goal line,
Right.
he's
Yep.
down there.
You're right.
So I'm worried that he'll be pushed back, and then his job is the 6. So the center backs don't have to step up wide, is to cut down cut off the wings basically. So that means he's having to run diagonally to over to a wing, to cut it off back. He cuts it off, then the ball gets recycled. He has to sprint to the middle now to cover their number 10, which is typically one of the best, if not the best player on the opposition team.
I
And
don't
he's
know. I don't know. I think you're overthinking that. I mean, I get it. I see where you're going.
yeah, which is why in that other formation, why the first one that I showed,
I think the
why I
diamond is
had
the
it
best
set up,
formation you had.
yeah, next to the one that you suggested because it's yours.
I admit nothing. I admit
So
nothing.
just a little bit of fun there.
Yeah.
You know, but
I
we'll
always
see what
love talking
happens.
shop
Yeah,
because I don't know shit, and I just talk out of my ass. I mean, wait a minute. There you go. I found the censor button. Sorry, a little late for that.
yeah. So the transfer window closes September 2nd. So we have
Midfielder.
just by the time this releases, we'll have 2 weeks,
Defense midfielder. That's all we need.
and we've signed one player.
And I still got one thing for them. You ready for it? It's still there.
Mhm.
Crickets are still there.
Yep, one player. And some people, I said it last week, some people may try to be like, oh, well, Griezmann came in this window. Pen was put to paper with Griezmann in March or April, when I think it was April.
That had nothing
He
to
was
do
signed.
with. That had nothing to do
He
with.
was
it.
signed before the transfer window.
Yeah, it had
The only
nothing
player
to do
that we
with it.
brought in that Pen was put to paper that wasn't involved with this club, and I even say it's half of not involved with this club, because obviously he came back here for a reason, because nobody else wanted to touch him
Right.
because of his injury history. Our one signing so far is Daryl DK, and if he works out, over the moon, awesome.
I so hope he's
Yes.
I texted you. Didn't I text you or you texted
Mhm.
me? And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, the stud is back, the tree."
Mhm.
No. I haven't seen it yet. I need to see
Did
the
you
freight train.
Did you see him go down on Saturday?
Yes.
The funniest thing, I don't know if you caught it on the show last night, but I laughed at myself after it happened, is when I rewatched it Sunday morning.
It's so funny.
My
So
heart
awkward.
still skipped a beat because of how he went down and immediately grabbed for the heel area. I'm like, oh no, it happened again.
I did one of those. It's all
Yeah.
it's all you can do. It's all you can do. It's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's wrap this up.
Well, thanks for joining me tonight, Adam.
Anytime, man. You know I'm more than happy to come on.
Definitely. Thanks to the other guys for hopping on and chiming in. Again, hopefully Luke gets better.
Probably has that same cold and cough that I had for 2.5 weeks.
Something
Going
like
around.
that.
Going around.
If you're watching, we had a lot to cover tonight, so I didn't really get to details much. But if you're watching, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below.
If you made it 2 hours and 9 minutes, definitely subscribe.
Yeah. If you have any thoughts to add, leave a comment, send us a DM if you want to be on the show. Shoot us a DM on any of our platforms. We're in 90 minutes pod or podcast on every platform out there. Obviously, this show is exclusively on YouTube. And soon our main show will be exclusively on YouTube. I believe we're going to start that next season. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube, have that notification bell turned on so you get notified when we go live. And thank you for watching. Hopefully the things we talked about resolve themselves. Hopefully this team starts consistently putting together wins instead of draws and losses. And let's hope we start
6.
What's that?
6 wins.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. 6 wins.
We start climbing the table and get into a playoff position where we can do some damage in the playoffs. Hopefully, here in just less than a month, we go up to Columbus and take care of business so we can have another U.S. Open Cup final at home, and hopefully take home another keep that home another U.S. Open Cup uh, title. But other than that, that's all we have for you guys tonight. Again, thank you for watching. And as always, vamos, Orlando.
Schleger's in the back. The shot, Schleger saves it! Can you believe that?